Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day so far. A nice morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it might be. However, the video may find you. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to go and listen to La Création du monde, the creation of the world. I would imagine is what that means. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. We're listening to this. This is conducted by Leonard Bernstein and composed originally by Darius Milhaud in 1922, 1923, somewhere in there, looking at the information. We're listening to this because it was suggested. This was sponsored by Alan. So, Alan, thank you so much for the recommendation. I appreciate the support as well. You said in your comment that this is a ballet dating from the 1920s, which draws on the composer's discovery of the Harlem jazz scene 2 years before Rhapsody in Blue, of course, from Gershwin. So, kind of interesting. Let's see if we can hear some of those particular jazz influences here. I'm pulling it up right now. We'll give it a listen. We'll discuss it after. Here we go. It's like we're standing on the precipice of something. I love the foreboding nature of this. It's really nice. I like how it slowed down and then it's building itself back up, it seems. Charging different than it did before. That sequence is very Gershwin. I like how it slowed down so well there. Is that like the first part of creation? It's a cool rhythm and the way it's separated. That is kind of cool. Yeah, this is definitely that older jazz. Circus of rhythm and melody. I love this patient, thoughtful melody and the way it builds. Passages like this that really, to me, hit that city life kind of scenery that Gershwin did as well. Drum again. Back to the hustle and bustle of traffic. What a perfectly constructed like moment of controlled chaos. And back to this. That's playful. I like that build up upon itself. I like this section a lot. I'm almost waiting for it to do that again. That was a brilliant piece of work. I thought that that was a wonderful listen that took you by surprise from point A to point Z and everywhere in between. You never knew quite what to expect. It took you through so many different turns and twists and such. And it was always a surprise where it led you. This was just a cool piece of music. And like it goes from soft and subtle to playful and fanciful to circus-like and fantastical into something, obviously a lot of jazz influence, as we mentioned. Like it just hits a lot of different particular targets, but hits them all with a bullseye, I would say. And it's a really cool track to listen to with all those different facets to it and the way that it transitions between them all. Some of my favorite parts in here, let me see if I can find, I mean, in the beginning sections was the softer parts here. Like, trying to get more active parts before that. This, with the drum just kind of barely padding away in the rhythm back there while the rest of the music kind of built up around that. I love that, to me, that depth of mysteriousness, that pool of tension that they built there. Because the rhythm is setting you up. You know it's setting you up for something, but you're not quite sure what. And then, of course, you hear the, so here it starts. And I love the those chords and the way that these rhythms, they're so separated, these melodies and how they come in, and like there's almost a staccato kind of feeling to it or something like that. And the way that they pile in on each other and just rapidly start firing off is really cool. It's like a musical firing squad that they're firing in different formations almost. Right? Like it's chaotic in a way. But even in the chaos of that, and I can imagine like the performance of that being live, even in that chaos, you can still very clearly hear the composition behind the chaos. You can hear the construction behind the chaos. You know, the what's another synonym, some alliteration I can use? The bonding behind the bedlam. Please clap. I'll take it. You can hear it all back there, and I think it comes across really nice and kind of like a masterstroke of and a compliment to just how well written this is. I thought that was really, really sensational. And then, I like how it returns to that, of course. Now I'm curious, like it's called the creation of the world. So is this going according to like biblical days of creation, and each of these sections perhaps represents a certain day and what took place in that day? Could be, absolutely could be. Let me see the other part. I wasn't looking at the times when it happened. Like, I love this. And this particular melody, there's something about it that once again is kind of, as mentioned, kind of reminds me of Gershwin and Rhapsody in Blue a little bit, of that New York kind of style, you know, that glamour, that walking down the carpet. This is cool. All of it was cool. But hold on. I'm trying to find this particular. This is cool. I like how it's like the melody or the rhythm. Ba 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 ba. Like it's such a catchy little melody there. to a maximum there. There was something around this time. I can't remember where it was though. I think it was right before this. I love how that jazziness starts there. I think it was this whole kind of few minutes in that particular part after, and the way that it kind of rebuilds itself. It starts the rhythm in a very subtle way, and then before you know it, it explodes from there like cannon fire and fireworks. And I just think that the way that all that is put together is very impressive. It's, I think, a brilliant piece of music. It was just a joy to listen to. You know, a lot of times music is just good to listen to. And this is good to listen to. So get some of the information for this. It's a 15-minute long, and yeah, I see I had a spoiler for another video coming up. It's a 15-minute long ballet composed by Darius Milhaud in 22 to 23 to a libretto by Blaise Cendrars, which outlines the creation of the world based on African folk mythology. Okay, so different. Not according to necessarily the 7 days of creation in biblical mythology. 25th of October, 1923. Okay, that's his debut. It was in London in 1920 that Milhaud discovered jazz. On a trip to the U.S. in 22, he heard authentic jazz on the streets of Harlem, which left a great impact on his musical outlook. I like that. I like the influence there. It was like nothing he had heard before. He wrote against the beat of the drums. The melodic lines crisscrossed in a breathless pattern of broken and twisted rhythms. Using jazz elements, the following year he finished composing this, which was cast as a ballet in 6 continuous parts. Okay, the company was very influential in the early 20s, staging 5 seasons in Paris and touring continually. The ballet reflects both the ideal and the aesthetic of Les Six, to combine popular forms of art and a centuries-old French penchant for exoticism. He was very susceptible to all kinds of influences, but it was a different type of exoticism that drew him. Let's see, he was in the parody of Les Jazz, Hot Singer, Josephine Baker, Pablo Picasso's paintings, and this ballet may have been Ballet Suédois attempt to follow the trend. I know I mispronounced that probably. It goes on from there. When Milhaud first heard an American jazz band in London, he was reportedly so captivated he took off to New York, as we said, and spent some time in the clubs and in Harlem. After returning to France, he began to write what he called a jazz idiom. He chose to color his music with bluesy turns of harmony and melody, swing climaxes, and stomping rhythms. Jazz influences appear in many of his compositions, but this is the first opportunity to express his new passion. In some shows, Milhaud noted, the singers were accompanied by flute, clarinet, trumpets, trombone, a complicated percussion section played by just one man, piano, and string. Bernstein said of the piece, it emerges not as a flirtation, but a real love affair with jazz. And I think that in this piece, I mean, I don't think any truer words have been spoken. You really can feel the wonderful honorifics and homage to jazz in this. Not just a parody, not just a thief of influence or, you know, taking, but a true love of it. You can absolutely feel that here. It was more than a true success. The costumes designed worked well visually, but were difficult to dance in. They were heavy and too inflexible to allow them to move freely. The original sets and costumes still survive in museums and galleries, while the music has taken its place in the concert repertoire. The choreography is revived occasionally out of curiosity. And there you go, with some notable recordings as well. Hey, Bernard Herrmann. A name in there I recognize. Let me know what you guys thought of that. I think that was a really nice piece of music. That was just a joy to listen to. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comments down below. Alan, thank you so much for the suggestion. Thank you for the support and the recommendation. I think that was a really fantastic listen. And let me know what you guys thought of it, of course. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow.